Hey,
Morning,
morning.
Fred. How are you?
Good morning. Let's get unmuted here, eh?
You are muted. You are unmuted. You're good.
Oh, good. How about the video? We got to get video here, eh?
Yep. Still need video. Well, we don't need it, but we love it, and we would like it. And there's Leanna and Rajesh. Welcome.
Hi.
Good morning, Liana.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are
Oh,
you?
good. Oh, good. Yeah. Didn't sleep that great.
Why?
I have a guest. My stepdaughter is here and she's being deployed to the Ukraine. So she's in the army and we're having to say goodbye for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary, but thank her for her service for all of us,
Oh.
Leanna.
Oh,
That's,
you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I have three, believe it or not, three stepdaughters. They're triplets and they're all in the army.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my,
Yeah.
oh, my.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
I
girls.
have her visit my cousin out there
You have a
How did-
cousin out there?
in the Ukraine. You say, or this? Oh, in the Ukraine, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's where my roots are.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Mhm. Just a little place called Yazechka,
oh,
which is just out of Lviv.
oh,
I have a cousin there who's a professor at the university.
wonderful. That's
And-
amazing.
His name is Mandrik too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
Welcome, Ken.
Morning, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Ken.
Heather,
Hey, Joe.
welcome.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, good morning.
And Mike DeRoche, Roy Snow.
Morning.
Our-
Good morning.
Here's our
Anna,
speaker,
how did they
Stuart.
all end up in the service? Did they come by
Oh.
it honestly? Is this something
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, they all joined cadets when they were about 13, 14 years old and loved it so much. I
Amazing.
think you have to have that kind of personality, right? You can handle the regiment and yeah, all three of them loved it and stayed with it. Went straight from cadets. One went to RMC, another went to Brock University and got her nursing, her medical science, and then became a nurse and then became a nurse in the Army. And the other one's is a trade of human resources. And she'll be
Wow.
deploying to the Yellowknife in about a couple months.
Oh,
incredible?
So interesting. Yeah, they're all over the place.
lovely.
Oh, my.
Well, thank you to all of them.
Morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Pauline.
Pauline.
Morning,
Hi,
Pauline.
Stuart. Morning, Stuart.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to
Morning, Stuart.
Rotary.
Thank you.
Hey, Fred, I'm heading up to Peterborough tomorrow morning to pack some food. Kids
How are
again.
you?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, we couldn't really, we've been trying to do it get it packed up for a year. And this
Yeah.
was really the only solution because we couldn't get a venue to allow us to come in and do it. So we're doing it up in Peterborough.
Yeah, well, they've set up the lobby and stuff, made some renovations to the warehouse, and I think they're packing. That's where you're going to pack, or whereabouts are you going?
That's where we're going. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
pack
right
there.
there.
Yeah, right at the
Yeah.
warehouse. Yeah.
It's not what they're used to, because, well, when I was involved with it, it was a pretty big operation, but nonetheless, the same amount gets done.
Exactly.
Takes a little longer time.
Yep. Yeah. It's gonna. Yeah. It's taking a week. It's taking a week as opposed to a day.
As opposed to exactly 1-to-7 ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
Good
well,
morning,
luck.
Heather.
Good luck.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
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 Hey, Gordon.
John.
Mhm.
John. For Stuart and our two guests, Ken and Heather, normally we get started at about 7:33. We give the stragglers a few extra minutes to get in, and then we start our program.
Hey, good morning, John.
Good morning.
we've got Heather as well.
Oh,
That's
the
right,
tip.
John.
Nice to see you guys.
It's pretty early. I haven't even got my coffee yet.
Or just have a drink of water. That'll work.
You can have some of mine.
So nice, John.
Hey, John, who was that friend of yours on Saturday at Grow Rotary that said, I can't understand a single word John is saying?
Oh, yeah. It's actually the incoming president of one of the Scarborough clubs.
Oh, okay.
And he's even more Scottish than me. Oh, dear.
What is more Scottish than you, John?
I think people who live much more in the north of Scotland, I can't understand what they say either.
The guys
People from Dundee, right?
Oh, yeah, them too, Steve.
Well, John, I can't understand what you say.
I'm in trouble when my wife can't understand what I say. There you go.
That probably has little to do with the accent, though, John.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's what you call selective deafness, actually.
You got it.
That right, Polly?
Something like that. You're always right, John.
I know.
Oh, pardon me, John, you're in the, oh my. You're always right. That's a good one.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, we may as well jump into it, folks. I'll keep a watch over the waiting room to make sure we let any extra folks in, but welcome all to the March the 2nd. We're very nearly a year into Zoom meetings, meeting of the Bowmanville Rotary Club. I can't believe it. I think we took 2 weeks off at the start of March last year, and then we got back into it with Zoom straight away. And with the exception of one meeting in October, they've been Zoom ever since. But that's besides the point. So welcome. We have a few guests. First off, we have our guest speaker, Stuart from the Ability Center. He's going to get a more fulsome introduction from Joe shortly. And we also have Ken Hurst and Heather Hebert from Ajax. Welcome. They were interested in coming to listen to Stuart. So here they are.
Wonderful.
All right, and with that, we'll go over and ask one of our newest Rotarians, Leanna, to deliver our invocation. Go ahead, Leanna.
Thanks. Good morning. I wasn't exactly sure what this is all about because I am new, but I just decided to do a poem by Alberto Rios. This is a poem about thanks to those who live lives of service, which I think includes all of us, from the large measure to the smallest gesture. And it goes like this. When giving is all we have, one river gives its journey to the next. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we simpled green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater for the difference. Thanks.
Leanna, for someone that didn't quite know what you were supposed to do there, you nailed it. That was excellent. The invocation is just a chance for us to share a feeling to kick the meeting off. It can be, but is not necessarily faith-based. People deliver secular messages or poems. So you did a great job. And as is my wont to do, I make at least one mistake a meeting, and I skipped right over the toasts. So thanks, ADG Burns, for reminding me. But first, our toast to Her Majesty, to the Queen,
To the
Queen.
to Canada,
Canada,
and to Rotary International.
Rotary International.
Okay. With that, over to our secretary, Pauline. Do we have any birthdays, anniversaries, or anything else to celebrate this week?
Yes, President Steve, we have a birthday. Is Lisa on call? Because Lisa Tamblin's celebrating her birthday on March the 6th.
Oh, darn it. We were on a call with her last night. I should have known.
Well, there you go. And we have 2 members who are celebrating their anniversary of joining Rotary. Joe Solway, he joined Rotary 3 years ago. Thank you, Joe. And our very own President Steve joined Rotary 6 years ago.
Really?
So thank you, Steve. Yes.
Yeah.
Who knew? Good company, Joe. It's good company that I share. Excellent. Okay. Well, with that, that's a pretty good segue, Pauline. Over to Joe to introduce our speaker, Stuart McReynolds from the Ability Center.
Thank you, Steve. 3 years. Well, I was wondering when the date was. I knew it was some kind of March thing. So thanks, Steve. I didn't know much about the Ability Center in Whitby until a couple of years ago when our club sponsored a bocce player. Her name was Deanna McElroy. She was in the Ontario Parasport Games. I got to see up close what an incredible facility the Ability Center is. It's serving as a hub for programs, both at the facility and in the community for people of all abilities. And since then, our club, along with other Rotary clubs in Durham, have gone on to support the center. And the president and CEO is here with us this morning. Stuart McReynolds is an advocate and champion for inclusion and has worked at various facilities around the world, literally around the world, to help make that a reality. He is also a pretty tough athlete in his own right because he's a former professional rugby player, and they don't come any tougher than that. Good morning, Stuart, and welcome to the Bowmanville Rotary Club. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Joe, and good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you all this morning. It's hard to believe that we are marching almost a year into the pandemic, and the presentation that I have will demonstrate some of what we've done as an organization over the past 12 months. And I wanted to extend a sincere note of thanks on behalf of the entire Ability Center community for your ongoing support, and an invitation to come and see what we do in person if you haven't been to our center already, when it is safe to do so. So I do have a few slides planned for today. I'm just going to share my screen and pull these up, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have at the end of the presentation. Okay, I'm just going to get this going here. Can everyone see that okay? A quick thumbs up would be fantastic. Excellent, great. And I'll do my best to describe any pictures or images that might be in the presentation. So just to kick it off, the vision of Ability Center came almost 20, 30 years ago now, with a group of community champions, including the Honourable Christine Elliott and the late Jim Flaherty, who envisioned creating a centre where inclusion can live and breathe. So a microcosm of our society where people of all ages, abilities and backgrounds could come together and realise their potential. And more importantly, to create a model that could be replicated across the country. And certainly that's what we're focused on today. Is after almost 10 years, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary next year, is we are delivering programs and services beyond our four walls. And I think it's really important to know that Ability Center itself isn't the building. The building is a tremendous asset that we have, but what makes us so special is what happens inside that building. We're a movement, we're a community, and certainly what I'll speak to in the slides will speak to that a bit more. So our goal as an organization is a Canada where we all belong. And how we do that is by creating inclusive and accessible communities where we live, work, and play. And we look at that through two different lenses. The first one, bringing communities of practice together that can transform impact. So we work with school boards, with healthcare sectors, with private public sector organizations, and we work to increase their knowledge and autonomy in being more accessible and inclusive. And once we've actually increased that capacity, knowledge, and expertise, we can then start to see tangible outcomes, which brings accessibility to life in communities. Why we do it? To increase quality of life for every individual and enable them to participate fully in their community. And we look at quality of life through three domains: social inclusion, health and well-being, and economic participation. And how we actually achieve those outcomes or support individuals achieving those outcomes is through the delivery of evidence-based programs, services, and advocacy in the areas of life skills, sport, recreation, and leisure, employment, education, and research. So what makes us unique as an organization? For us, we focus on pan disability in the general population. So for us, inclusion is everyone. It's all of us. We work cross-sectorally with a number of different sectors and partners. And we look at inclusion and accessibility not as compliance, but as a tool for social and economic growth. Our building, our organization, and what we do was always designed to be a model for replication. We affectionately refer to our facility as a 125,000 square foot inclusion incubator, where we pilot, develop new innovative programs and services, and when they're ready, we then expand them across beyond our four walls. We have a very diversified revenue model as a charity. We don't solely rely on government funding. We've worked hard to create enterprise revenue streams. And our approach is really acting as an accessibility broker with communities and organizations in terms of supporting them on their accessibility and inclusion journeys. So in terms of some highlights that I'm happy to share from the past 18 months, we have 120 staff, 35% identify as living with a disability. 30% of our board of directors also identify as living with a disability. And that's really important for us, ensuring that we have lived experience at the core and center of decision-making processes. We support a wide range of students and volunteers, some great relationships locally with our colleges and post-secondary institutions. We had over 3,000 members participate in research, including 22 research projects. Nearly 4,000 individuals attended our education events, and we have quite an extensive following on social media. And with regards to the facility itself, we facilitated over 288,500 visits, 813 total events, and we support a membership base of over 5,000 members. In terms of the impact, we've actually realized a year-on-year increase in improving quality of life for our seniors focused program, and that was noted at 13% over this past year. 322 young people developed knowledge of employment skills and labor market opportunities as a result of ability center programming. Our lead in equitable and accessible delivery, which is an initiative designed to support communities and organizations to look at inclusion and accessibility more holistically, was delivered to 9 organizations. And actually, I'm delighted to inform the group here this morning that the municipality of Clarington is actually going to be going through that lead initiative, and that's the whole municipality. So that's really exciting for us. We delivered inclusion training to over 4,000 individuals, and we are an exclusive developer and delivery agent for mixed ability sport in Canada. And the inaugural program, which is rugby, exceeded expectations by 150%. And that's something that we're growing across the country. And it's a great relationship that we have also with a group in the UK that initiated that program. In terms of our response to COVID, certainly our organization hasn't been immune to some of the challenges, but our work has really focused on 3 priorities: protecting the health and well-being of our community and staff, transitioning to virtual programming and innovative approaches to continue to deliver our programs and services to ensure that we continue to meet the needs of Ontarians with disabilities throughout the province, and provincial and national efforts to advocate for and ensure that our disability community is getting the supports that they require, and more so looking at how we embed accessibility into community recovery strategies versus it being an afterthought. So what does that mean for us? Well, in delivery, we've launched Ability Center Virtual World. We've ran parking lot programming, and that's exactly what it says on the tin. We actually ran programs in parking lot spaces, physically distant, at the center. We've established a number of partnerships with hospitals and municipalities, including Sick Kids, CHIO, and Niagara Children's Treatment Center, to ensure that we can reach children in those settings and support them through recreation activities online. And we've had a number of expansion activities, including our ongoing relationship in Ottawa, Mississauga, Calgary, and in fact, as far as the Ukraine, where we're working with a group in Eastern Ukraine in terms of supporting them on their inclusion journeys as well. In terms of some of the impact, again, what's really important for us is ensuring that we always continue to meet the needs of the populations we serve. So I'm not going to go through each of these numbers, but you can see here that in employment and our skill development programs, 100% of respondents indicated that they really enjoyed the virtual programming. In terms of our therapeutic recreation, 100% of respondents felt confident, happy, and engaged during that programming. And on our adult day program and skill development program, 79% of respondents indicated that Thrive transitioned from in-person to virtual and met their needs very well to extremely well. So this is really important for us to see that we continue to meet the needs of our community, but I will say that nothing can replace that in-person component. So we're really excited to welcome our participants back when it is safe to do so. The Access Projects in COVID-19 Disability Survey, this is a really key piece in terms of that advocacy. And we actually created a research initiative with Queen's University, the University of British Columbia, and the Canadian Disability Participation Project. And our data now is the largest disability data set in Canada that articulates the impacts of COVID-19 on people with disabilities. And on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see some of the really stark contrast in terms of some of those responses on our community. So 82% of respondents reported that the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted their mental health. 80% of adults with disabilities scored higher on a measure of social isolation than the average population. And 1/3 of respondents reported that their employment status had changed since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. So certainly the negative impacts of COVID-19 have been exacerbated for our disability community. In terms of provincial collaboration and support, again, when the pandemic first hit in March, our first focus was on how can we support our community. So rather than closing up shop and trying to weather the storm, we wanted to make sure that we reached out, identified the needs, and then to connect with our community partners to see how we can support. So we're in current conversations with regards of Ability Center being potentially utilised as a vaccination site in phase 2 and phase 3 of the rollout. And we're also working with the Durham Region Health Department and the province to see how we can work in embedding accessibility and inclusion principles at vaccination sites locally and across the province. So our call to action and areas for collaboration, specifically with Rotary, would be, I'd encourage you to support advocacy on behalf of your community, and specifically the impacts of COVID-19 on our disability community, understanding that these have been exacerbated for those with disabilities. Each of you have daytime jobs, or you have opportunities to really think about where you can leverage accessibility and inclusion. I would really encourage you to think about accessibility and inclusion being used as tools for economic and social growth. We've got a long road to recovery post-pandemic, and we're only going to be able to fully recover if we leverage the talents and abilities of everyone in our province and country. And I think Rotary serving as role models would be a really key piece to look at. So in terms of presentations, in terms of meetings, in terms of really embracing that concept of inclusion would be fantastic. And I know something that is something that Rotary prides itself on. In terms of additional areas for collaboration between Ability Centre and Rotary, we are working on a mural of inclusion at the centre, which we are looking at creating a mural and a design that really represents accessibility inclusion in the Durham region. And that's something that we've had some initial discussions with Rotary of, is how do we bring that concept to life through art? And so that's something that we're really excited to continue our discussions with. Potential collaboration and vaccination strategies. So looking at volunteerism, looking at if we do have a site at Ability Centre, or if we do have accessibility strategies at other sites, how can we tie into Rotary in that regard? And then I think the last one being long-term planning and support with measures. So we know that we've got an extended COVID-19 recovery. So how do we look at some long-term plans and some long-term strategies to support us to recover over the long term, and in turn impact the people that we serve? Lastly, before I move on to a short video with some of our members, I wanted to include this quote, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and it always seems impossible until it's done. It's from the great Nelson Mandela, and I think certainly we could never have envisaged where we are as a society in a result of the pandemic. But I think looking back over the past 12 months, and you've seen what we've been able to achieve in pivoting, has been quite phenomenal. So when we talk about inclusion and accessibility being a pipe dream, I think that's in the past. I think we've really together got the opportunity to change our society and change the fabric of our communities for the better. I'm really excited to continue our conversations and partnership in that area. I've just got a short video here. I'm hoping that it works. This is really some testimonials and hearing from our members directly. I'm just going to pause and just make sure people can hear that video, because I can't hear it on my end. Can everyone hear that video?
No, we can't. Let me check the settings and see what.
Okay, excellent.
If we can get that straightened out.
Thank you, Steve.
That's not it. Oh, so when you share it, if you stop sharing your screen and when you go to share it, there should be an option for audio down at the bottom, I think left corner of your sharing screen.
My sharing screen. So I'm just putting my sharing screen up now. Share computer sound. I'll just click that.
Yep.
And optimize screen sharing for video clip. Okay, I'll go back onto that now and try that right now.
When I was 12 years old, I was involved in an automobile accident, and it left me a T10 paraplegic. Going through rehab, I didn't really have many physical aspirations and things like that happening in life where a gym's only half accessible. I'm like, I think that just told me that's the way it is.
I started to get sick. We had no clue what it was. And I got to the point where I was in the ICU, and we still had no idea what was wrong, and then we found out that my cortisol level was super low.
I was about 21. I just fell sick. Woke up one day with pins and needles in my hands and my feet for 2 months. So then they thought I had Parkinson's. Then they thought lupus. And then once I got the MRI done, they saw the lesions in my brain, which then, yes, MS. I started with a cane here, and within about 2 years of being a member, I am cane-free. Having this gym here allows me to have a destination for my day.
It's helped getting active because I'm not in bed all day. I'm doing 3 programs a week now, and then I'm doing the TR every other Wednesday, which is going to be a lot more activity, which is going to be so much better than lying in my bed all day doing nothing.
This place just it's just so warm and friendly and inviting. My life has changed completely because of it. It's given me more confidence and probably made my life is at a better point than I've ever been. And I got this place is to thank for a lot of that.
And this is not a center, it's a community. People care here. They're concerned. You get conversation here, and that's what's nice.
When you come here, it's like a whole another world. You get to work out and practice your own sport, and then you get lots of time to have study hall. So that's where you can catch up on homework, others like subjects that you need to finish. You have lots of time to do it. This is like amazing to be able to like have this so close to home.
You come in and you feel relaxed. You don't feel like, gotta go work out, gotta go do this. And once I finish my workout, I gotta leave. It's friendly. People are saying hi to you, or people asking you, I haven't seen you in a couple of days. Where have you been? It's like, oh my God, someone's asking about me, da, da, da. And you feel you belong here, and that's the thing, you belong. Whether you have an issue or you don't, you belong here, because this is a community. We welcome any and everyone.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to help me pursue my dreams.
This place has truly changed my life, and it's provided an open world for so many people with disabilities and abilities, and just cannot thank you enough for your continued donations.
Just thank you from the bottom of my heart, because if I didn't have the Ability Center and all the people here, I know my life would be not nearly as wonderful as it is right now.
If it wasn't for you, where would we be? I wouldn't feel as blessed as I feel right now, because I know I belong to something, somewhere. And so I want to say thank you.
Okay, so that was the short video, and I think it's always important to share the experiences and thoughts from our members directly. I do have some more testimonies, but I know I'm short on time, so I'm going to happy to pause here. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. Really excited to continue our discussions and partnerships. And at this stage, if there's time, Steve, I'll be delighted to answer any questions.
Absolutely, Stuart. We have time for a couple of questions. So who's Rajesh? Your hand's up first. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. So, okay, my question is, like, I saw that you have not partner but collaboration with other countries. So what kind of collaboration is that? I saw UK, US, Ukraine, and few other countries as well.
Yeah, that's a great question, Rajesh. So for us, what we've done is we've actually reached out to countries that have established promising practices or best practices, and we've actually learned from what they've done in their country and seen if we can replicate that in Canada. And we've got the old saying that there's no need to recreate the wheel, and certainly we believe in that as an organization. So we've looked at countries like the UK that are really far advanced in terms of some of their inclusion initiatives, and seen how we can actually replicate that in Canada. The same in New Zealand, the same elsewhere as well. So what we work on is identifying those promising practices, seeing if there's opportunity for collaboration, and to see if we can actually replicate those practices in Canada. And at the same time, those partners then get learning from how we apply those initiatives in our own country. So it's really about, if we want to create a truly accessible and inclusive society, we need to be thinking about that globally. We can't do that in isolation. And so if we can align ourselves with a network of global partners, all working towards achieving common objectives, we're going to be more successful in what it is we're trying to achieve.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. So have you thought of like introducing like yoga in your ability center? Because I see that is one of like can be one potential area where you can introduce that can also help people, because it has multiple positive impact, not only physically but mentally as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. We do run yoga at the center, and in fact, Rajesh, what we do at Ability Center is every program and service that we provide has variations. So what we mean is, when you go to a yoga class or a spinning class or a fitness class, there are always 2 or 3 ways to perform that activity. So if you're a chair user or if you're less ambulant, then you can actually have adaptations or variations to support your participation in that class. So yoga, certainly with the health and well-being impact, is something that is one of our, or an area which is one of our most popular programs, but certainly always willing to explore more opportunities for collaboration and partnership to enhance that offering.
Oh, okay, nice.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I think I saw John's hand up.
Stuart, I remember when the Durham President's Group visited the centre. You were there, you gave us a talk. Both Steve and I were blown away by what you have in the facility. And the thing that stopped us in our tracks was we realized you guys actually have a respite program. I mean, it didn't come over in your presentation today, but you guys have a respite program, which we never knew about. But anyway, you do a great job.
Thank you very much for that, John.
We got time for Ken Hurst from Ajax. Go ahead, Ken. Muted. You're muted, Ken.
Has the pandemic virtual experience given you any thoughts about continuing some of the virtual programs in the future?
Yeah, great question, Ken. It has. And I think what we've done is we've used the pandemic and our learnings from the pandemic to really see the opportunities that exist for us in the future. And so what we will be doing is we will be continuing to offer virtual programs. And I think what you'll start to see is the membership base at Ability Centre will differentiate. And what I mean by that is now through our virtual offerings, we can reach hard to reach communities. We can reach individuals that are outside of the Durham region. And I think more importantly, that we understand that a lot of the people that we serve are going to be hesitant to come back into person programming right away. So we can continue to serve our populations in a combination of in-person, virtual, or a mixture of both. So absolutely, that'll be one of our focuses moving forward, is continuing that virtual delivery.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Joe, I see your hand. You're muted, Joe.
Yeah, when I was at the Parasport Games, one of the things I noticed was that there were a number of people on the organization and coaching level who also had disabilities themselves. And I was really impressed and impressed, I guess is the word. The fact that this was not kind of people with abilities doing stuff for people who with a disability. How important is it for people who have disabilities to be part of the organization and the people that run the place?
Thanks, Joe. That's a great question and a great point, and it's incredibly important for us. And there's a saying in our disability community, nothing about us without us. And certainly we live by those principles. So if you look at the program and services that we're developing now, we prescribe to the philosophy of co-design and co-production. So if we're designing programs for persons with disabilities, we design them with and deliver them with people with disabilities. And certainly when you look at our mixed ability sport model, the Parasport Games, to your point, Joe, as an example, it's incredibly important that we have that representation in our decision-making processes, and more importantly, in the delivery of those programs and services. So that's something that we firmly believe in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Stuart, again, another fantastic presentation. As John said, when you and Derek Gleed invited us out to take a look at the Ability Center, I had no idea what was there. I had this vision of what it was in my mind, but it was infinitely more. And I came home and bragged about it to my family, and then came to the club and bragged about it to them. And we were really happy to become a part of that mural project that you put to us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with us. Hope you're enjoying the Six Nations rugby so far.
Not as an Englishman at the moment.
I had a feeling that was pretty tough on Saturday, so maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. But, anywho, you have yourself a fantastic day. You're welcome to stay and for the rest of the meeting, but we know you're busy, so it's okay to drop too.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your day. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, well, as we move into Happy Bucks, Lisa Tamblin, you joined a little bit late, so you missed your happy birthday wishes from the club. Happy birthday later this week, Lisa. Does anyone have any Happy Bucks to share? Oh, Amy, your hand. I see it. And then Lloyd.
Okay, so my Happy Bucks, I've got 10 Happy Bucks. So thank you very much to Rotarian Chris Zelasco, who helped me out yesterday getting a box spring home from Costco. Don Gleed, the new Toyota Sienna is as beautiful as the hybrid is. It's a little narrower. So the double box spring that normally fits doesn't fit in the new Sienna. But I gave Chris a call, and within 2 hours, he was at Costco helping me out and got it home. So thank you very much. And I hope your canoe is safe.
Yeah, well, you know, the power of a Ford, I guess. Yeah, the canoe is fine. It fell off. Fell off the. My canoe fell off the fence yesterday with the wind, so all good.
Okay, good one, Amy. Lloyd, go ahead.
First, I want to say hi to the Rajesh's son there. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Awfully cute. So happy buck for what's behind me here, which is not the basement of my house. Our renovation is done, so we're able to move back into our home, and it's 4 weeks till baby for those of you who are counting down. So it's good to be back.
I am counting down. That's it's exciting news. And Johanna.
My happy buck actually came from last night's meeting we had with the new members committee, and Steve K has kindly agreed to be our Easter Bunny this year for our respite program with our kids. So be sure to come out and see that. That's going to be in about 5 weeks. We'll definitely send pictures.
I'll be like George from the Jimmy Stewart movie. Okay, moving on. We have a classification talk. Rajesh, the floor is yours for a few minutes to tell us more about yourself. Go ahead.
Thank you, Steve. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Rajesh. So, something about me that that might interest you all is I'm from India back home, and I came to Canada in 2013 as a student and studied MBA from University of New Brunswick. Then in 2015, I got married. I moved to Toronto with my wife and started to work here in Bell, Canada, into the sales department. So, and in 2015, November, I had my first child, my son, Aryan. And after that, life was going okay, pretty much smooth. But then later we decided to buy our own first house in Canada, and then we moved to Whitby. So since 2017, we are living in Whitby. And then I had another child, my daughter, her name is Shania. So she is cute, she is up with her mom. And then I changed my careers, and then I moved into a different organization, started working into IT as a IT consultant. So I was pretty much happy, enjoying my life. And then one day I was passing by Bowmanville, and that's when I came across the car wash. So that's where I got introduced to this club, and I was pretty much interested to join a club. So that's where I met our president, Steve K, who introduced me, who told me more about the club, and got me introduced to many of you in the club. And that's when I joined this club. So I'm enjoying the club. I like it. I keep talking about it with my family, with my wife, and then my son, he wants to come with me sometimes, but since I know we are close, we cannot meet. So, but one day, yes, for sure, I will bring my family, and I will bring them so that they can also enjoy. And then right now, I'm not working, but I'm exploring on my own venture. So let's see how that goes. So during my course, when I was doing my MBA, I went to China as a exchange student, and I lived in Shanghai for about 3 months, where I started to learn some Chinese. I could speak well, but I think because I'm not practicing, I'm forgetting. But yes, I think if I practice, I can learn well. And yes, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat, but I do eat eggs. So I like trying different foods. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy going to different places, explore, being with different culture. Because one thing what I think is that it is the food, music that connects different cultures together, and which is common. So that's why, like if there is any cultural program, different any activity that's going on, I like to be part of it. I like to go see how people do the way they do. So this is pretty much about me in a nutshell. So yeah, if you want to ask any question about me, you can ask. I will be happy to answer. Steve, you're mute, sorry.
Thanks. Joe.
Yeah, what part of India are you from? Can you talk a little bit about that, about where you come from and your family, and what part of India it is?
Yeah, sure. So I was born in northern part of India, but since my dad was he was working, so he kept moving to different places. But I'm from a very small town close to New Delhi, and after that I mostly lived in Pune and Mumbai for now. So if I calculate right now, it's almost about 20 years I've lived over there.
Okay.
What's Mumbai like? I hear it's crazy.
It's crazy. Oh, if you ask me personally, I don't like it because it is very, very busy and very noisy.
Yeah. All right.
I have a question.
Code. And then
Rajesh, I just wanted to thank you, first of all, for spending some time last week over lunch. I quite enjoyed that and learning a little bit more about you. You're a pretty humble guy, and you didn't share a whole lot compared to what we shared one-on-one. Can you tell the club a little bit about your aspirations around your grocery store?
Okay, so yes, I'm working. Thank you, Steve. So yes, I spoke with you and our president on the phone as well. So I'm working on a project of a grocery store. So it's in progress, and the grocery store that I'm planning is a little different, could be modern, but still I'm working on what kind of format I should come up with. So I decided to work on this because I saw that there are not many Indian grocery store in Whitby, Oshawa, or east from me. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to start something that can also help the entire community. And also along with it, my objective is to focus on the immunity, building the immunity, and educating people on the nutritional value of the food, so that it can help them boost their immunity as well. And also providing them with the food that they often do not find in, I would say, GTA, but they do miss it back from their home. So I'm working on that as well, so that they can feel connected to their own homeland, and they can make Canada as a second homeland.
Nice. Mr. DeRoche, you had a question. I'm excited. By the way, I'm excited to go to your grocery store when it's open. I can't wait, Rajesh. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Rajesh, when you were in Pune,
yeah,
were you a member of the Rotary Club there?
No, I was not.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I actually visited that club.
Oh, okay.
In Pune, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little beautiful town, and I would say it is more multicultural as well, because there are people from Russia, Ukraine, Europe, Canada, Australia, US, from South America. There are people from around the world. And another reason for people coming there is, one is yoga, and second is meditation, and the kind of living style that Pune welcomes, or Pune offers to people who come there. And it's more multicultural.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank
welcome.
You. Yes, absolutely. If there aren't any other questions, thank you, Rajesh. And it was fantastic meeting Aryan. it was great to have him on the meeting as well. And
Thank you.
nice little tidbit from Lloyd in the chat that if they were to have had a boy, Aryan was going to be their name as well. So,
thank you.
Okay, with that, we've got a little bit of business to take care of, folks. Following up on the email that I sent last week about funding of the Charles Best Center. Lyle received communication from the Charles Best Center telling us about their build fundraising objectives. In the email, they listed out a number of naming right opportunities. Although I want to be clear, I think I muddied the water a little bit in my email. They didn't ask for a specific amount. Lyle suggested to the board a specific amount. There's an opportunity to name a play area within the renovated Charles H. Best Diabetes Center for $15,000. And for those of you that don't know, just in case you didn't follow up on the email, the Charles H. Best Diabetes Center is a regional hub for care of and programming to support people with type 1 diabetes. It's helped a number of people within our club, both former and current. And it's something that our club has supported in the past. So we had a special meeting of the board to discuss the potential of freeing up some money from our reserves, specifically from the Mary Fletcher Fund, as we call it. A number of years ago, Mary Fletcher left a bequest for our club, and our club made a decision that we would use it, we would meter out the use of that fund over 5 years in the amount of no more than $58,000 per year. Okay, and that was passed by a vote of the club as a whole. So to keep in line with the rules and make sure that we do everything right, we are bringing a request to the club as a whole. I think we've got quorum here today. We're supposed to have 1/3 of the club membership according to our bylaws, and we've got that right now. To draw $8,000 out of our reserve. We have used $50,000 so far from the Mary Fletcher Fund to support our giving this year, and there's a motion to put before you, actually a question to put before you based on a motion, if I don't get too confused here, to draw an additional $8,000. So keeping in line with your original amount set by the club as a whole for a total of $58,000 this year. The motion passed by the board, it was presented by Pauline. The board of directors would present to the general membership a suggestion of support to the new initiative taken by the Charles Best Center, and such support to a maximum of $8,000 drawn from the Mary Fletcher investment account. The motion was seconded by Chris Zalasko. 7 voted in favor with 1 abstention, and the motion carried. So after speaking with Lyle, my governance guru in the club, he told me that we didn't need a new motion for the club. We just need to put it to everyone. And so the question is, obviously, that the club withdraw an additional $8,000 from the Mary Fletcher Bequest Fund, and that these funds be donated to the Charles H. Best Diabetes Center in support of their recent expansion fundraising campaign. That's the question. I'm going to put it to you in a poll in a moment once we have a discussion. I'm going to add a couple of things before I yield the floor to any people wanting to question what we're doing. So $8,000 isn't the 15 that they were thinking of for the room. The thought was that the youth committee and the community services committee would consider topping up that funding to approach the $15,000. What we're also going to do, and this is of interest to you, Ken and Heather, if this is approved, we're also going to be approaching the other Durham Rotary clubs to see if we can combine for a more impactful, larger donation from the Rotary Clubs of Durham to the Charles H. Best Center. So there's that. Now, when I put the email out, I got a few, sorry, I'm long-winded here, but I want to make sure I get it all out and done right. I got some feedback from a few members, along with some proxy votes, but we'll deal with those after the fact. So first from Tim Function, Tim raised some concerns. He did acknowledge that we've given to them in the past, although he raised a concern about donating to other registered charities and wondered if it risked our charitable status. He expressed concern about drawing more from the Mary Fletcher fund for general giving, rather than a more targeted sort of gift to support children. And he was concerned that Mary might not be supportive of this gift. And he also thought that the play area we were targeting was quite small, and he suggested if we were going to give, targeting other Durham Rotary clubs, as I've suggested, for a larger support. I also got a call from Paul Morris, who, as many of you know, was quite close with the Fletcher family. He called to tell me, or to remind me that Mary put no restrictions on her bequest, right? And that we were free to use that however we wish as a club. He also suggested, or he also told me confidently that Mary would be very supportive of this. So it's a bit of a contradiction to what Tim said, but Paul Morris said it very emphatically. And the final thing that I have to add comes from Paul. He's so supportive of it that if we vote in favor of this, Paul and Susan Morris are going to donate an additional $2,500 to bring us up to $10,500. So we're that much closer to the $15,000 number. Okay, and with that, I'll open it up to the floor for any discussion or questions. Okay, all right, there being none, I'm going to try the poll feature here. So you should have a poll pop up on your screen, and it's a question I put to you. You can vote in favor or opposed, and I'll keep it open for a minute. If for some reason you're not able to respond to it, that's okay. Once I've closed the poll, I will give you a chance to raise your hand in favor or in opposition. Okay. All right, we've got 19 votes in, and that's starting to feel right. Has anyone not been able to cast a vote apart from Ken and Heather? Okay. Well, with that, we have 19 votes online in favor, along with three proxy, no, Steve Code and Fred are here. So 2 additional proxy votes in favor to bring us to 21, and 1 vote opposed. With that, the motion carries. So thank you very much, everyone. I will tell Lyle and Lloyd, because I think Lloyd had to drop, that the motion is passed, and they can now put the question to their committees to help bring us up to the 15,000. And I can expect a communication from me to you and the rest of the Durham Rotary clubs to see if you'd like to combine forces on this. All right, that was easier than I thought. Thank you very much, everyone. And with that, we're down to our very last piece, the quote of the week. Oh, sorry, Heather, you have a question.
I just wanted to know, did you guys go and do any type of grant requests for money for this as a club?
No, not as of yet, no.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll just share the results there so you can all see that you should be able to see them on your screen right now. Okay, with that, the quote of the week, over to Wayne Routley.
Yes, this is a short quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That's the quote.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate everyone's time today. Thanks for joining us, Ken and Heather. And with that, have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you all next week. Cheers.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, wait, into my normal closing. Wait. Remember, in the things that we do and we say, I screwed up twice today. Our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And with that, if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, have a great week.
Bye, everyone.